안녕하세요. 루나치입니다. 오늘 열심히 새로 산 게임을 해봅시다. 스탠리 파러블. 요새 한동안 또 스트리밍 안 하게 돼가지고. 보셔. 잠깐만. 이름 바꿔야겠다. 아마 이거는 하루 만에 다 끝내지 않을까? 게임이 짧아가지고. 트위치도 바꿔야지. 자, 채널 네? 편집. 스팀. 예. 잠깐만, 크로스태그 배틀로 돼 있는데 지금. 아이 진짜. 말썽이 또. 완료. 네, 저장하시고 가봅시다. 옵션밖에 없어. 뭐야 이거. 시작하면 되나? 어떻게 해야 되지? 뭐 만질 수 있지 않을까? 그냥 해야 되네. 가봅시다. 왜 로딩 멈췄어? 어찌된 일인가? 창이 안 보이는데? 창이 어디 갔지? 뭐라 하면 되지 여기서? 컨트롤 안기. 스와이프. 잠깐만. 자막이 없어. 생각해보니까 이거 한글화가 돼 있던가? 하지 뭐. 응? 뭐지? 맞는데? 왜 안 나오지? 자막이 왜 안 나오지? 이건 뭐야? 웬 도전가지?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
잠깐만, 한글화인지 한번 인터넷 좀 찾아볼까? 너무 어려운데? 폴더 경로에 다 넣으면 된다. 그러면 패치 한번 바꿔오자. 스팀 파일에 넣으면 된다 이거지 그냥. 오케이. 봅시다. 리소스 파일에 넣으라고? 리소스 다운로드. 자, 패치 끝났고, 예? 플레이하면 되겠지, 그냥? 자, 코멘트도 확인하고. 나와라, 스탠리. 오케이. 옵션. 오디오, 전체 자막, 오케이. 자, 시작하자.
All
427번.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
뭐 있지 않을까?
Did it advance the story in any way? No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Because 5 times, is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, no, no.
도전과제 있나 보네.
I can't just give these merits away for such little effort.
이게 소스로 만들어진 게임인가 이것도? 하프라이프 소스로? 이게 자막 뜨는 걸 보니까 왠지 그런 소스로 만들어진 게임 같아. 없나? 진짜 아무것도 없나? 도전같이 주는 것 같은데 왠지. 응? 그럼 스팀에 뭐 뜬 건가? 그치? 없나 보네? 뭘까 그럼? 컴퓨터 켜져 있는데 저쪽?
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
못 가네? 여기 번호가 없는데 여기는? 돌아갈 수 있나? 못 돌아가네 이제.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
여기밖에 없는 것 같은데?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
The end is never?
All of his co-workers were gone.
죽으면 안 되는 건가?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
루트가 정해져 있구나 이 게임은.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business.
게임 저장되는구나.
First open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
카드 넣고 갈 수 있지 않을까? 어딘가 숨겨져 있는 것 같은데?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
안 받을 수 있을 것 같은데 왠지.
If you can truly place your faith in another.
안 받을 거야. 어? 잠깐만.
Up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. Didn't know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. To think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you
You can't jump. 도전과제.
to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
연습?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
어쩌라고?
This time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
딴 건 없나 보네.
choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to
아이씨, 못 넘어가게 해놨네.
before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
수가 책통 하나네.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
싫어.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
뭐야 이거? 일단 저장해 놓자 이거. 뭐지 이게? 무슨 비밀번호 같은 게 있네? 저장하고, 자, 스크린샷 받고, 뭔지 모르겠는데. 뭐가 있는 건가? 또 뭐야? 자, 저장해 두자. 돌아가 볼까? 진행이 안 되는 것 같은데.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. What am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way.
못 올라오는데?
Down entirely to willingly destroy all of my work. I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I? No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
오.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and
뭐야?
always putting the story first.
돌아왔지?
I'm sure you'll be up to the task. Just you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
한 번 더 갈래?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always
스테이지가 없는
putting the
건가?
story first.
한 번만 더
I'm
해보고
quite sure you'll
안
be up to the
되면은
task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
아니 애초에 이 문을 2개나 열어줬는데 뭐.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
잠깐만 이거 혹시
And always putting the story first.
들어갈 수 있지 않을까? 저거 살짝 본 다음에 여기를 뛰어가면은 볼 수 있을 것 같은데?
All right.
왼쪽 방을 한 번만 더 해보자.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He left.
그 다음에
No!
살짝 보고
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
안 되네 아무것도.
Behave exactly as
가자.
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
일정이네 이거는.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
왠지 좀 밑으로 내려갈 수 있지 않을까 이거? 점프가 안 돼 이 게임은.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a
뭐야,
voice
설마
next
말에
to it.
반응해주는 거야, 설마?
Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
튕겼는데? 뭐지? 튕겼는데? 왜 튕긴 거야? 뭐지? 게임이 튕겼는데? 왜 튕긴 거야?
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's
저장하자.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115.
아무래도 이것도 튕길 것 같아, 내가 보기엔. 자막을 한번 꺼보자.
Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
또 이러네? 뭐지? 일단 하란 대로 해볼까? 귀여운데? 쌍꺼 패치라서 그런가? 아씨, 불러오게 했어야 되는데. 잘못 눌렀다. 머시기 샤크였지?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability,
샤크 1,
he had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
목소리에 맞춰서 해주는 것 같은데.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Boring. Boring. Boring.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
115. Shark Night.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have
Boring.
what the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
뭐야?
left.
제가 스탠이야?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
Walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So...
설마 이대로 끝은 아니겠지?
Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
나레이션이 되게 슬퍼 보인다.
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait. And what's the right thing to do? Take as much time as you need.
왜? 집 끝난 거야? 아니? 더 있을 것 같은데?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy.
하? 아까랑 뭔가 다른데?
Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a
뭔가
little
칠 수 있을
bit
것 같은데?
closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
숨어 있자. 뭐야? 응?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, Very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. All of
처음부터 다시 한 것 같은데? 돌아가 보자. 또 튕겼다. 여기서 튕긴데? 아무래도 보니까. 샤크나이 116. 어? 야! 맞잖아. 자막해놔서 그런가? 아, 잘못 눌렀다.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver.
Night Shark 115? Night Shark 115. 말했잖아 이놈아.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115. Come on!
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you.
Night Shark 115.
I asked you for this one
뭐야?
single thing for your respect.
뭐가 문제야?
Respect Stanley shows for his choices.
이게 빡쳤다 얘. 아이고.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver.
Night Shark
right
115. Night Shark 115. 열려 임마. Night Shark 115.
Sorry, is there a problem?
Night Shark 115.
Speak the code into the receiver.
Night Shark 115.
Step.
Night Shark 115. God damn it.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide
왜 안 되지?
better things to do. I asked you for this one.
뭐가 문제냐 얘는.
Single thing for your respect.
Night Shark 115.
Stanley shows
Hey.
his choices. He knows what it means.
또 돌아가서 다시 한번 해볼까? 이게 뭐가 문제지 근데? 여기 진행이 안 돼. 대체 뭐가 문제이니?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you?
Night Shark
Please
115.
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
Fine.
God damn
you're not
it.
gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you.
잠깐만, 뭐가 문제지? 잠깐만. 뭐지?
To open doors, he entered the
잠깐만. 왜 대체 왜 이게 안 되지? 화장실에서 이게 왜 음성 인식이 안 되겠지, 이게? 음, 음. 이게 왜 안 되는 거지?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Night Shark 115.
Right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115. 말했잖아 이놈아.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this.
잠깐만 뭐 처음부터 다시 시작해볼까 그럼? 버그인가?
Hours passed, then days. Had years gone? That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
뭐지?
And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw
Night Shark 115.
to face the unknown.
Night Shark 115.
And then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code.
작동가 나는데 아무래도 이게 진짜 말하는 게 아닌 것 같은데.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
씨.
This is the story of a man. A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
뭘 한지 모르겠다. 맞아. 끼지 않을까 혹시 이거? 아 이거 못 끼도록 이게 설정을 해놨네. 이렇게 하면은.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
뭘까 일단?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might come into
밑으로 갈 수 있는 계단이다.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously
뭐야?
out of existence
맵이
at a
똑같은데?
single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
I'm dreaming! This was a dream!
Relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Oh.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
근데 똑같은 곳이.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
끝이야? 끝났구만. 어디서 전화 울리는데?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
문이 안 닫히는데? 뭐지? 달라졌나?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took
이쪽에서 왼쪽 화면은 뭔가 또 다른 루트려나?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
이건 뭐야? 오, 로딩. 뭐지?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get
여기 또 선택지가 있네?
back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
오, 깜짝이야. 우와.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
오. 신기한데? 이런 기능.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
뭔 소리가 들렸는데? 뭐지? 어? 또 뭔 소리가 들렸어? 뭐지? 뭐하는 게임이지? 가보자.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... What, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
오른쪽부터 가볼까? 뭐야? 어? 응?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
어?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
뭐야 이게?
I know you put in a lot of effort, and it really paid off, so good job.
뭔 소리야?
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
하?
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
대체 뭔 일이 있던 거냐?
All right.
스탠리 파라블 어드벤처 라인.
Sure we don't get lost. I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line.
어?
Just follow the line.
아 깜짝이야.
How simple is that?
어? 이쪽 가야 돼? 이상한데? 이상한데? 야, 이거 원래 여기 아니야? 야, 원래 여기잖아.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
그래. 알았어. 글로 갈게.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential
점점 선이 이상해진대?
construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
필요 없어 임마. 아니 씨. 뭐야 이게.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
양치식물?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
어디? 여기? 아까랑 방이 다른데?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
빙빙
on.
돌고 있는데?
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
Huh?
So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
양쪽 열리는 거 아니야 혹시?
Since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
그냥 하나밖에 안 열리네.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
뭐야 이게?
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all
Playing
one
the
giant ending?
computer.
And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
하.
Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
뭐야? 응?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
새로 시작한 것 같은데 아무래도.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
오. 오. 아, 그 길이네 이거?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
신기하다.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
열리네?
hoping he might find... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
뭐 있을 것 같은데?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
뭐가 일어날 것 같아. 계속 얘기하는 거 보니까 뭔가 있어.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
어리.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked
그래,
past the
뭔가
closet, at least you would have had a reason for it.
비주얼만한 걸 좀 넣어뒀어야지. 그래 그래.
Because literally, this closet is of absolutely no significance.
에이, 그래 좀 넣어주지.
whatsoever.
넣어줘.
I never would have thought to mention it.
빨리 뭐 좀 해줘. 빨리.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was nice."
브룸 클로즈 엔딩?
Your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. Stupid he is. That or with blood money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system, and you can...
아니야.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
뭐야?
When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
야다. 청소함 엔딩 보여줘. 청소함 엔딩. 청소함 엔딩. 나? 가볼까 그럼?
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I
Second.
got into a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
세컨 플레이.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
아까랑
stunned to
다른데?
discover
뭔가?
not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
뭐야?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door.
Mind control factory?
Mind control
See?
facility.
Facility?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
왔네. 가자.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
뭐지 빨간 버튼? 터치인가 이게?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place. And oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
뭐야 이게? 허무한데? 너무?
But Stanley's simply.
자, 일단 스탠리는 일단 여기까지 할게요. 아우, 좀 지루해졌다.